Russia's Prime Minister Vladimir Putin. What did WikiLeaks reveal about his country's real leader? Is there an internal power struggle? Has democracy disappeared? Will there be a new arms race? Plus, fallout from the spy scandal. What about those sleeper agents arrested in the U.S. and sent back to their homeland? Vladimir Putin for the hour. Next on Larry King Live. Good evening. Vladimir Putin is the Prime Minister of Russia. He previously served as President of the Russian Federation, and it's a great pleasure to welcome him back to Larry King Live. Mr. Prime Minister, we thank you for joining us. We know, let's start right off, we know that you're eligible to run again for the presidency in 2012. Are you thinking about doing that?
Well, we've been working with the President Medvedev in a very close contact, and we decided a long time ago then we'll adopt a concerted decision as regards year 2012 in the interests of the Russian people.
So that is a maybe.
We'll see. There is still quite time before the elections take place. That should be in April year 2012. Once again, we will be in consultations and will adopt that decision based on the economic, social and political situation in the country.
Okay, let's get to current things. What do you make of the release of the United States diplomatic and military documents by the WikiLeaks group?
Some experts believe that somebody is deceiving WikiLeaks, their reputation being undermined, to use them for their own political purposes later on. That's one of the possibilities there, and that's the opinion of the experts. And also you have such opinion expressed here. If it's not so, then it tells us that it's necessary for the diplomatic services to be more attentive to their cables. Such leaks occurred before, in previous times. So this is no catastrophe. I don't see this as being a catastrophe.
Well, how about documents that include a cable in which Defense Secretary Robert Gates of the United States is reported to have told his French counterpart that Russian democracy has disappeared and that the government is being run by security services? What's your response to the American Secretary of Defense saying that?
I know Mr. Gates. I met him several times. I believe he's a very nice person. And he is not a bad expert, too. But it is known also that Mr. Gates was one of the leaders of CIA of the United States of America before. And today, he happens to be the Secretary of Defense. Now, if he is the best expert in democracy in the United States of America, then I congratulate you with that.
So he is wrong in saying that your country is being run by secret security services?
He is being deeply misled. Our country is led by the people of the Russian Federation through the legitimately elected government and the parliament authorities of the president and the prime minister of the Russian Federation. Now, as regards democracy, this has been a long-term dispute with our American colleagues. I'd like to recall the fact that twice in the history of the United States of America, there were cases when the candidate to the presidency, who subsequently became president of the United States, were voted by majority of electorate, with the delegates representing the lesser number of electorate as a whole. Is that democracy? When we are talking with our American friends and tell them there are systemic problems in this regard, we can hear from them, don't interfere with our affairs. This is our tradition, and it's going to continue like that. We are not interfering. But to our colleagues, I would also like to advise, you don't interfere either. That's a sovereign choice of the Russian people. The Russian people have unilaterally made their choice in direction of democracy in the early 90s. We will not be led astray. Nobody should be having any doubts. Russia has interest in that, and will do that. Now, as regards the questions posed by Mr. Gates in these diplomatic cables, that has to do with the evident desire to apply pressure to the allies in tackling specific matters. Such matters arise in big numbers. They say, yes, you need to apply pressure to Russia. They are not democratic. You should do this and that because they are not democratic. We've heard that thousands of times. We've started to dismiss such allegations as yet they've been using it as a tool of the foreign policy of the U.S. And I think it's an erroneous approach to dealing with the Russian Federation.
What, Mr. Prime Minister, how would you describe the relationship between you and President Medvedev? There are some who say the statement goes that you're Batman and he's Robin.
Well, you know, when myself and Mr. Medvedev were deciding on how we will build on our cooperation in future, now at present, how we'll build on our relationship, when we decided as to how we should build the electorate campaign for the presidency in year 2008, we were fully aware of the fact that many people would try to introduce a splint in our joint approach to the construction of the Russian Federation economy and otherwise. Truth of the matter is, this is about our interaction, which is an important factor of the domestic policies in this country. But to be honest with you, we didn't suspect that this would be done with such arrogance, with such a push, and being so unethically done. Such assertions indeed are aimed to slander one of us, to get under the skin, to provoke some steps which might destroy the productive interaction in running this country. I have to tell you that we've got used to it, and I will ask all of those who try such attempts to be quiet about it.
We will be right back with the Prime Minister of Russia, Vladimir Putin. We'll ask about the situation on the Korean Peninsula right after this. We're back with Vladimir Putin, the Prime Minister of Russia. Great pleasure to have him with him. I hope someday soon to visit his country and visit with him personally. Last time he was with us was in New York, and we were together. Tonight, of course, we're by satellite. What, Mr. Prime Minister, is your assessment of the Korean Peninsula? Your foreign minister last week said there's a colossal danger of an escalation there. Do you share that fear?
Yes, indeed. The situation is very worrisome and very acute. And we can't but be worried about that. Whatever happens there is happening in the very vicinity of our borders, as it were. Having said that, we count a lot on the fact that the prudence will get upper hand there. Emotions will be shelved. And the dialogue will be started. Without a dialogue, it is not possible to come to an agreement. Jointly with the partners, including the United States of America, we've been working closely as regards to the settlement of the North Korean Peninsula having to do with the nuclear programs and settlement regarding the interaction and relations between two parties involved. And at different stages of this effort, this work provided us with different outcomes, sometimes very positive and impressive results. And I count a lot that will resume this positive trend of action.
Because China has proposed sitting down now 6-party talks the two Koreas, China, United States, Russia, and Japan, sitting down now. Do you support that?
Well, the president is in charge of our foreign policies, and this question should primarily be addressed to him. But generally speaking, Russia is interested in the continuation of that dialogue.
Do you think China should do more? It has a lot of influence in North Korea, to rein in North Korea.
Это позиция Госдепа США.
Well, you know, this position taken by the State Department of the United States, but basically speaking, we all need to do whatever it takes in order that the situation would be on the track of normalcy from now on. The Chinese have leverages of impact in economy in the first place, but most importantly, what we need to remember, we should respect the interests of the Korean people, both in the north and in the south of that peninsula. We should be patient, and we should choose the right mode of speech with them and work out a unified position there of all 6 states involved in this quite a complex negotiation process. The unity of approach is what really matters. It's a guarantee of our joint success there.
Do you share the concern of many other nations that Iran is moving toward becoming a nuclear power? Is Russia okay with that?
The Iranian nuclear program is being implemented for over 20 years now. As of late, recently, in recent years, Iran has demonstrated in various ways their readiness to engage in dialogue with the international community, IAEA included. We know that the initial stages have witnessed some activities which raised questions, and we supported IAEA to get exhaustive answers to those questions. You certainly know that we are concerned with any expression of the proliferation or any possibility, theoretical possibility of proliferation of weapons of mass destruction. This relates to absolutely all states, including Iran. Having said that, we don't have any grounds to suspect Iran in the sense that they seek to possess nuclear arms. But we've been cooperating with all our partners, including the US of America, in the frameworks of the United Nations organizations. And as you know, up till now, we've been able to adopt concerted decisions. Our position is open, and Iran is aware of our position, and will continue to cooperate with all the participants of this process up till the final settlement of that problem. And I count greatly on the fact that this settlement will occur. And I believe that this is the interest of the neighbors of Iran, Israel, who are very much afraid of the Iranian programs, other participants and neighbors, but Iran also, and the Iranian people as well. I don't see this in any way as being prejudice or undermining the interests of Iran if they were to fully open all their programs and satisfy the legitimate interest of the international organization IAEA, that is in their effort.
We'll take a break.
I don't see that as being scary. At the same time, I still maintain that Iran has a right to implement nuclear programs under the oversight of the international organizations.